So today what we're going to be working on is finding a side and an angle of a triangle given certain information. So I'd like you to try this, so put me in pause and then come back and check your answer. Okay, so in the try this, it says we have triangle ABC, angle C is a right angle, and then it says to find AC if AB is 12 and BC is 9. So when you have two sides of a right triangle, you can find the third side by using the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So remember, c is the hypotenuse, so I have x squared plus 9 squared is equal to 12 squared. So x squared plus 81 is equal to 144. So subtract 81 from both sides, we get 63. Square root both sides, and remember I only want the positive root to the nearest tenth. So it's 7.937, which is 7.9. Okay, so let's take a look how we can find a side of a triangle with other information. Because right now all you know how to do is find the side of a triangle if it's a right triangle. So let's talk about other triangles. So how to find the side of a triangle if you were given two sides. So you have to have two sides and the included angle. So you have to have side, angle, side. The angle must be between the two sides. So take a look at this triangle ABC. And I have side C, side B, angle A is given. That's in between the two sides. And I'm looking for the side opposite the angle. So what we use is law of cosines. So law of cosines would be A squared equals B squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine of angle A. Notice in the formula, this side matches up with this angle that goes back here, and it's the other two sides that are in the formula. So take a look at the next triangle. We have triangle ABC. Given sides A and C, angle B, we're looking for side B. So law of cosines would be B squared equals A squared plus C squared minus 2AC cosine of angle B. Notice that it's the side and the angle, they match up. So let's take a look at the next triangle. So I have triangle ABC, side A, side B, angle C, find side C. So again, that would be law of cosine, so it would be C squared equals this time A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cosine of angle C. And again, notice the side and the angle back here match up. So let's take a look at number 1. We have in triangle ABC, A is 6, C is 8, angle B is 74 degrees, and we're looking for side B to the nearest integer. So let's draw a triangle. So I have triangle ABC. Side A is 6, side C is 8, angle B is 74, and we're looking for side B. So I would use B squared equals A squared plus C squared minus 2AC cosine of angle B. So it's going to be X squared equals 6 squared plus 8 squared minus 2 times 6 times 8 cosine, my angle, that's an angle, remember, 74. So this whole right side, you could just plug that into the calculator since everything is accounted for on the right side. And we get 73.53881384. Square root both sides, so just hit second square root second answer and it'll plug the whole thing in for you. So we get 8.5754 to the nearest integer would be 9. Okay, so let's flip it over. Okay, so how to find an angle. So how to find an angle of a triangle if you are given, you have to be given all three sides of the triangle. So you need side, side, side. So if you have side, 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 then you can find any angle of the triangle using law of cosines. So take a look at the first setup. We have triangle ABC. Given all three sides, find angle B. So if I'm looking for angle B, then it would be B squared equals A squared plus C squared, minus 2AC cosine of angle B. Notice it's my side and my angle here have to match up. Let's look at the next setup. I have here triangle ABC. Side A, B, and C are given. I'm looking for angle A. Since I'm looking for angle A, it would be A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cosine of angle A. And again, notice angle and side match up. And let's look at the next one. Same thing, but I'm looking for angle C. So it'd be C squared equals B squared plus A squared minus 2BA cosine of angle C. And again, my side and my angle here match up. So let's take a look at the first example. So we have in isosceles triangle RED. RE and ED are equal, and they're equal to 5. RD is equal to 8. Find the measure of angle E to the nearest degree. So let's draw a triangle. So I have in my triangle R, E, and ED are equal. They're the congruent sides, and they're both 5. RD is 8, and I'm looking for angle E. So my setup would be E squared equals, since I'm finding angle E, so that would be E squared equals R squared plus D squared minus 2RD cosine of angle E. So I would have 8 squared equals 5 squared plus 5 squared minus 2 times 5 times 5. Cosine of angle E, that's what I'm looking for, angle E, remember. So I have 8 squared is 64 equals. You cannot plug that whole thing in. So what you can plug in is this. You could plug in 5 squared plus 5 squared, this piece here. So that's 50 minus, you could plug the next piece in, 2 times 5 minus 50, cosine E. You cannot subtract 50 and 50 because of the cosine E. So we subtract 50. 14 equals negative 50 cosine E. So divide both sides because that's times in here. So divide by negative 50. So when I divide both sides by negative 50, I get negative 0.28. If you want to leave it as a fraction, that's fine too. Cosine E. Remember, when you find an angle, you use inverse key. So I do second cosine, right? That's the inverse key of negative 0.28. And this is going to give me the measure of angle E. And the measure of angle E comes out to be 106.26. So the measure of angle E to the nearest degree would be 106 degrees. Okay, so that's it, and we'll practice in class tomorrow. Have a good night.